One of the easiest ways to customize your project is by using heat transfer paper, be it dark or the light variety. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use it to customize spandex and polyester fabrics without using sublimation. Want to know more? Then subscribe and don't go anywhere. Let me show you how to do this. Hey lovelies, this is Annie with Annie Marie. If you're new here, you're welcome. Do what to subscribe to our channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. So here I have my design already in the computer. You can see it. I've already arranged it, and this is my dark transfer paper. I know what you're thinking. I showed you a white cap and a white t-shirt. How come I'm using a dark transfer? Now it depends on the image I'm trying to recreate. My image has this background that will look good with sublimation, but because I don't want to use sublimation for it, I decided to use dark transfer paper because it's going to recreate it exactly the way I want it. Okay, it has this backing that I'm going to place directly on the t-shirt, and it will give me the desired effect. Now if I'm going to be using the light heat transfer paper on the cap, what it's going to do is to transfer the ink to the cap. But to be honest with you, for some designs I really use my dark transfer, even if the t-shirt or the fabric is not dark colored. Okay, so I'm trying to print out the design and it's really coming out, and once it comes out, I'm going to take it out and use my scissors to cut out the design. Now I arranged it in a way that I'm going to be printing out like 4 at a time. This particular design I'm printing out right now is for the cap, okay, as you can see it. Okay, so this is exactly the way I arranged it. So it's going to be printing them out because I'm going to be designing 40 caps. That is for a company. Okay, I'm going to be doing some t-shirts for them, and I'm also going to be doing this cap for them. So I decided to use the opportunity to create this tutorial, and here is our cap price, and here is our heat resistant tape which I'm going to be using. Now we're going to heat our cap price to 260 degrees to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, which is approximately 130 degrees centigrade to 149 degrees centigrade. Okay, we're going to prep our cap. This is the design I've already cut out, and you can see it's looking perfect. Now the cap press is already heated. Okay, next I'm going to do now is to just take the cap and prep it. All right, and to do that, we're going to be opening this hook at the back. Okay, when you want to do this, you need to loosen this out. Now this is trucker cap, okay, and it is made with polyester and foam. It doesn't require very high temperatures. All right, so I'm going to be using the temperatures that I quoted for you. I'm going to place it, making sure that that place is out. All right, towards the beak is going to be out so that it will lay flat and comfortable on the cap press, and I'm going to prep it for 3 to 5 seconds. Okay, I'm going to use my Teflon sheet to cover it up and make sure that the cap doesn't burn. Remember, this is polyester. If you hit it too hard, trust me, it's going to burn. All right, so I'll use my Teflon sheet to cover it up, and then I'm going to press on it for 3 to 5 seconds. This is just to remove moisture and also remove the crease on it. All right, make it ready to accept our designs. Okay, so once the machine beeps, I'm going to raise it, bring out my Teflon sheet, and then I'm going to place my design right on it facing the cap, and I'm going to be using my heat resistant tape to hold it on. Now the one I'm using for the cap is the light transfer paper. Okay, the light transfer paper. This one transfers the ink to the fabric. Okay, for the t-shirt I'm going to be using the dark transfer paper. So I'm going to be showing you the 2 ways to use your heat transfer paper. All right, so this particular one is the light transfer paper. That is why the design is facing the project, it's facing the fabric, it's facing the cap. Okay, now the essence of using the heat resistant tape is to hold the design in place so that by the time you're placing the Teflon sheet to cover it and you're trying to press the cap, the design is not going to move. This is very important. Okay, and the duration of the time you're heating it matters, because there is what we call bleeding. If you heat it for too long, you will not only burn the polyester fabric, but the design will also bleed out, okay? So I'm covering it now with a Teflon sheet, and I'm going to heat it for 5 to 8 seconds, okay? It's not going to be for a very long time, or I can heat it for 8 to 12 seconds. All right, it depends, but let it not be more than 12 seconds. If it's something like cotton, denim and the likes, it can be up to 15 seconds. Okay, but whenever I'm working with polyester, I try to be very careful. All right, so once the machine beeps, I'm going to raise it and swing it over, and I'm going to remove the Teflon sheet and remove the tape. And here it is. Our design is already transferred, and you can see the cap is looking good. Now, one thing you have to do is to try to stretch it out a little bit, while it's still hot, and just look at it, looking beautiful. All right, so this is the way you can easily customize your project, be it a cap, be it a t-shirt, anything at all. Okay, now we're going to be custom designing the t-shirt. My heat press is already there. I've already heated it up, and you know the right thing to do, which is to preheat our t-shirt. This is to remove moisture and also remove the crease, okay? Make it ready to accept our design. Now what I'm going to do is to place my design. Now this one is the dark transfer paper. This one I have to remove the backing because I'm going to be placing it on the t-shirt. What it means is I'm not transferring the ink. I am simply placing the design on the t-shirt with the support of the backing, okay? All right. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to be using iron to do this because somebody told me that what if you don't have a heat press? So I think let me just clear out all these things and show you how you can actually do this thing using your home iron. I think it's better that way. Okay. Let me just clear out all these things and let's do that. Now here I have arranged everything. You need to place a foam on your table. You need to use a hard surface. Okay. So I placed the foam on the table and I placed the t-shirt right on top of the foam. This is to protect my table from the heat. Okay. Now I'm going to use the Teflon sheet to cover the t-shirt. All right. I'm going to do the whole preheating method, which is to remove moisture and crease. All right, so I have heated my iron, and now you need to set the iron to the cotton setting. This is very important. You get it to the cotton setting. If yours has the linen setting, you can take it up to the linen setting, but you will not allow it to stay for long on your t-shirt. Okay, so I'm going to just move it around it just to heat it up and get it ready to accept our design. And once I'm done, I'm going to remove the Teflon sheet and place our design. Now if you don't have the t-shirt ruler, which you always see me use, that is why I'm using the tape. You can use your measuring tape. Okay, you can use your measuring tape to get the placement correctly. You know what I always advise, just use 2.5 inches, 2 inches or 3 inches below the neck collar. Anything longer than 3 inches I just feel is going to be a belly design, and I don't normally like it. Okay, so I'm using my tape measure instead of the t-shirt ruler that many people do not have to get my placement right, and it's well centered now, and all I have to do is to get my Teflon sheet and cover up the design. Then we're going to be using our pressing iron to press on it for 8 to 12 seconds. Now if you feel it's too long a time, you can actually do 5 to 8 seconds. Okay, you can just do your trials. Okay, use any kind of scrap fabrics you have at home to do your trials, to do your testings before you actually work on a project. Now if you're doing this for a client, you need to be extremely careful. Test out the designs, okay, before you start working on anybody's project, okay, to avoid unnecessary expenses, because if you spoil anybody's work, you need to pay for it. It's as simple as that. So move above the design. You can see what I'm doing. Normally you can stay at a point for like 2 seconds before moving it, but because this is polyester, this is spandex, I need to be moving continuously, because if I stay at a particular point for a long time, it will scorch it. It's going to burn, and trust me, it's not what you want. Okay, so now I am good to go. I'm going to remove the Teflon sheet, and you can see the heat coming out from the t-shirt, and our design is set. There it is, looking beautiful. So you can see how this came out. So all you have to do is to stretch it out a little bit, use your hand to move it a little bit, so that when it cools down, it's not going to give you all those crinkling effects. Okay, it's going to look perfect. Now I'm going to show you another one just for you to be very clear on this and not, you know, make mistakes. Place down your t-shirt, make sure you use a hard surface, preferably a stable table. All right, put a foam right under it, place your t-shirt, place your Teflon sheet and heat it up, okay, to remove moisture and remove grease. And once you're done with that, then you get your dark transfer paper that has your image, your picture on the design that you want to transfer. Place it right on the t-shirt, okay? Just apply it for like 8 to 12 seconds and you're good to go. So I'm trying to remove the backing on this transfer, and once I'm done, all I have to do is to place it on the t-shirt. You can see how beautifully it's peeling. It's very simple, okay? That's the backing right here. So just throw it away and just make sure you get your placement right. The worst thing you can do to yourself is, you know, make your placement wrong. Okay, it shows a bad project. Okay, always measure it out. No matter how many times you have to do it, because the end result will speak for itself. And trust me, there is nothing like doing something, creating something, and then at the end of the day it comes out beautiful. You'll be proud of your work. All right, so heat on it. Use your iron to move right above it. Okay, remember the kind of fabric you're working on, so don't stay on a particular spot for a long time. 1 second, 2 seconds to hover on a particular point is more than enough. If you're working with spandex and polyester, please be mindful of it, because they are not so tolerant to heat. It can scorch, it can burn. All right, and once you've gotten to that point and you feel that it has adhered and it has transferred, just remove your iron, remove the Teflon sheet, and you're good to go. I mean, look at this. It's looking beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, share your thoughts at the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and I will see you in the next one. Until later, lovelies. Ciao.